Catus, Maximus here, this time with a review of the Stanley 89 series ratchets. 89, this is the 817, 818, quarter inch and 3/8. These have the potential to be really nice ratchets, but just due to some basically design flaws and maybe additionally quality control issues, these things are absolutely terrible. They're basically defective products that should have been recalled. No wonder I found these, and I'm totally even disappointed. These, to make them working, are going to take a lot of effort. It's just sucks. If I was somebody who bought one of these Stanleys, I would have been real angry. Pretty close to consumer fraud. It's the easiest way of putting it. I mean, they have good things going for them. The anvils are pretty tight. Screws go through the body and into the bottom plate, so you could potentially rebuild the whole ratchet. Really strong spring for the quick release, and a pretty small hole, which leaves a lot of material. The problem is, we can see that this has backdrag issues. I mean, look at that. That's just crazy. This has the worst backdrag of any ratchet I've ever felt in my life. The reverse switch is so stiff that you practically need pliers just to flip that switch. I mean, this thing is insane. And it's a tolerance issue. I want to show something here. These screws here, see that? I mean, these are finger tight. These screws don't have to be super torqued, but they need to be able to get tight. Otherwise, just the flexing and the slight shifting of the plate causes the screws to fall out. Watch this. I'm just going to use this bit and just, look at that, just 2-finger tighten this thing. Just like so. And the ratchet is just totally locked up. But we're like, what's going on here? Because the anvil actually is moving. The reverse lever just gets pinched because there's just some terrible tolerance issues. Quarter inch has the same one. I mean, how you have a product like this get out when it is just obviously just completely flawed is beyond me. Especially from the world's largest tool corporation, Stanley. Just super disappointing. I mean, I just can't believe this. They just don't care anymore at all. The warranty is useless because you got to spend money to mail it to them. I mean, think about that. I'm gonna sell you a car that comes off the lot with a bad transmission, and then I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna charge you to fix the bad transmission on the new car I just sold you. Just insane. Obviously, they had some issues with self-reversing, so their big idea here was, let's put in some ball bearings here, a couple little detents, or there's the ball bearings, there's a little detent right there to keep it from self-reversing. I don't think they're going to have any issue with that. We kind of have some weird setup here where this is sitting on top of the pawl, and I assume that's what's happening is when you're putting the pressure on the plate, it's just jamming this up, jamming this little piece on top of the pawl itself. We can see it's like a 72-tooth sliding pawl. I mean, it has the potential of being pretty good. Oh, and of course, that is why they did that, because it was having... Oh, well, this whole thing's kind of falling apart here. This almost looks like it's plastic. Let's just get all the pieces out of this, because this ratchet's basically worthless. It is. Look at that. That is a molded plastic internal piece. That's absolutely shameful. And this is the crux of the issue. So here's the spring. Oddly, they have, it's a normal spring that just presses on the back, but since they didn't put any kind of undercut, they have this little hook that sits in there. That was that little shiny piece that was sitting through this slot. This plastic piece is terrible, but they probably made it extra thick so that you wouldn't have issues with it wearing out when you're flipping the reverse switch, which is actually cast zinc. I just can't believe they got the tolerance issue so bad. And this is going to take some effort. You know, you're either going to have to sand this down some, or you're going to have to sand the bottom of this switch, because you got to, you know, either way you cut it. What's the problem is the distance between here and the top of this is just simply too thick. And I don't know how they would have made that error just so badly. And who even knows why they like to go with this design. So anyway, I'm not going to spend the time trying to fix that. Who wants to get some ratchets and have to spend a bunch of time sanding and grinding away on stuff? You know, you might be able, well, the switch locks up, so no matter what, even if you grind down the pawl, you're still going to have to sand down this. And who wants to spend time doing dealing with that on a brand new product. So real disappointed in these Stanley ratchets. And if you ever see these Stanley ratchets here with that kind of distinctive switch, avoid them at all costs. They are broken by design. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.